Alright, this last video is going to be something that's a little bit of an intermediate topic, but it's not hard. You'll just see it in a lot of online tutorials, and I want to make sure I'm the one who explains it to you, and not some random stranger on the internet. So here we go. We're going to go into third-person input folder, inside content, third-person input. We're going to go in actions, and we're going to create a new input action, okay? If you've ever looked at the player controller script and blueprints, third-person character, I should say, there's IA look, IA move, and IA, there should be a jump somewhere. IA jump. IA stands for input action, okay? And you can look at these as an example. The movement input is X and Y, the mouse movement. It's kind of a XY value. The look is the up-down XY, I think. This one will be turning, I believe. The easiest one to understand is the jump. When it's started, you do the jump action, and when it's completed or stopped, you stop pushing the jump button, do the stop jumping event on the character. If I double click on this, it should take me, oh, it's in the C++, it's not in blueprints. So anyways, let's go back and go to third person input, and we're going to use this input managing context in a minute. But first we're going to go make a new action. I'm going to right click, go to input, look for the same blue as the other icons, input action. I'm going to call mine, just like the others here, I'm going to call IA underscore. I'm tempted to call it interact, but that sounds like a scarier word than just use. Okay, so the E key is going to be the use button still, but we're going to make an input action for it. This is going to be a little more professional, and it's going to work when we have multiple game pads plugged in. That's the main reason I'm doing it. I'm going to double click on the use input action we just made. I'm going to dock it next to the neighbors. And on here, I don't think anything really needs to change. It's kind of crazy. We just made an input action and it doesn't do anything, but I wanted to open it up and just show you what it looks like inside. We're going to go back to the input here and double click the input input mapping context. And this is where we're going to add the one we just made. So you'll see this list of jump, move, and look. I'm going to hit plus here and drop this down and find IA use, the one I just made. And this is where it's important. I'm going to collapse this and go look at the jump button. You'll see that the jump button has three mappings: spacebar, gamepad, face button bottom, which is the jump button. Oh man. And if you're on a mobile device, a touch one, I'm not sure where that is. But we're going to go open up use, and we're going to make sure that we have three mappings. So I'm going to go two mappings. I'm going to hit plus here to get a second mapping. Please note that plus here adds mappings, and plus here adds inputs, or control bindings, I should say, to the mappings. So I've got two here. First one is, oops, oh cool, you can click that and change them. How do I switch back to the keyboard though? I want keyboard, scroll down and find my E key. There we go, on the icon change back. So I got my keyboard E. I could do the right mouse button or something. And then I have down here, I'm going to drop it down and say gamepad. I guess the gamepad face buttons are the ones, you know, that you're used to, the X, Y, triangle, X on a PlayStation and stuff. The bottom one was already taken for a jump, so I guess I'm going to do the left one for use. And you might want something different. And I think that's all I need to do right now. I'm going to make sure I save this input mapping context and make sure that my use is saved. And now I'm going to go back to my light blueprint. Okay. Well, we're not going to use the E anymore because that's a hack. We're going to delete that and right click. And just like those other ones, we're going to type IA underscore shift minus. Or you can type use if you want, but there might be a lot of uses. And there's values and events. I want the event because that's the red block here. And I'm going to drop this down. There's triggered, started, ongoing. If you took some time to look at the jump, if I do triggered, I'll just show you what that looks like real quick to save you the grief. Don't do triggered. But if I walk up to now and use one of these, it flashes like it's like use every frame. It tries to flip it, the flip-flop the light value. So it looks quite glitchy. I'm going to hit escape. And I don't want it triggered, I want it started. So only one time when I start pushing my use input, do I want you to do this. And then everything else is the same. I'm going to hit save. And now, finally, we have our own first input action with the mapping context that we made. And we can do this for any inputs that we want for our player to have for any extra buttons and stuff like crouch, prone, all that stuff to change his player state. But for now, we're just going to do it for use. Okay? So we'll see you in the next one. I hope that worked for you.